Hi, my name is Maribel Vega, and this is my story. I grew up Catholic. I had two great parents. Up until I was about 8, they got divorced. And I still would just see my dad on the weekends, but I spent most of my time with my mom. My mom taught me about God. She would pray with me every night. She told me the whole prayer that we had to know. I went through the whole process of Catholicism. I had to go through communion and everything. So I knew the Bible. I knew who God was. I even know who Jesus was by name, but I didn't know the whole relationship part. So by the time I was in middle school, I was very involved with wanting to be popular, wanting to be with the crowd. And I was in history class one day, and this really sweet girl, Erica Ramsey, just kind of handed me a card, and it was a Wired event, which is our middle school ministry. And she was just like, hey, we're having this event, and I really want to invite you to it. Hopefully you can make it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this looks really cool, but like, I have no ride to anywhere. My mom can't bring me and whatever. I was like, I need a ride. So she talked to her mom, and immediately her mom, Lorraine, was like, absolutely. And I went to this event, and I loved it. I think the difference between the churches at that point that made me stay was the relationship piece. I connected with everyone in Wired, everyone playing games. I remember playing Guitar Hero and having the best time of my life, and then hearing the sermon from the pastor at the time, and it was a great experience. So I knew I was gonna keep going. By the time I was in high school, I was very inconsistent in Powerhouse, kind of just doing what I wanted to do with my friends and hanging out. By the time I was in my junior year, I fell into depression, slowly but surely, because my relationship with my family wasn't the best. My mom was going through financial issues. She was also not in the best emotional level. And I remember Pastor Christian and Danielle, if they saw something on Instagram, like a sad post, or just reaching out to me like, hey, are you okay? Like, we see this, we see that. And those are moments where I would tell them what's going on, and they would be like, if you need anything, just tell us and we'll be there in a second. And that's what, it was almost like how we are with God. Like, we push God away, but he still steps in and says, I'm still here for you. So they showed that same love, and I think that's what kept me going to church too at that time, because I think I was at the place in my mind of like, I don't even want to go to church anymore. Like, you're not real, this is happening. But that love kept pushing me to go back. And this whole time, Lorraine's giving me rides. No one else was giving me rides to church. So that was a blessing. My mom was full Catholic. She was never a Christian before, but she loved hearing about the Bible and hearing about Jesus. And so I would tell her things, and that just sparked up conversation with my brothers. My brother, the youngest, Jonathan, would be like, hey, did you guys play games today? Because he would see like all of us like playing games outside of Wired and Powerhouse when we had all those video games. He'd be like, that was so cool, I want to be there. And I was like, well, soon you're going to be in middle school, like soon you're going to be able to come. And Anthony at this time was in middle school, so he was allowed to be in Powerhouse, and he loved it. We brought him to church, obviously. I guess the look kind of drew them in, and me talking about it to my mom. And then I remember the day we did an altar call, and Anthony gave his life to Jesus, and it was so special. He has slight autism, so it was really cool, like him fully being aware of what was happening and fully understanding and having that relationship was awesome. And Jonathan as well eventually gave his life to Christ. And my mom now goes to our church. She goes to our church. She loves Christ. She loves the Lord. There's so much impacts that you can get from Vibe Ministries, young adults ministries, youth ministries, Surge Kids ministries. All of those departments, they're so important. You start to build a relationship with them and the pastor. And that's something that you could never trade for. I don't know if in high school and middle school, if I would have gotten through certain things without Pastor Christian and Danielle and leaders like Christine Ortiz and just amazing leaders back then. Those were super impactful. Those were people. So yes, it's the worship and the sermon and the preaching, but also the people who talk to you and want to do life with you. That's so valuable and something you can't trade in life.